Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kudash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And Lord willing, this would be a lesson, or exhortation straight to the point. But things are about to get tough. I took a look at this video. I saw the notification, so I started watching it. I haven't finished getting through it yet, but it was just put up by the elder Yashawamba, dealing with the UN. I believe it was the UN. If I got this right, man, I forgot what it was, but it was somebody from the UN that basically declared war, right, on free speech, basically to. When you read the headline of the article, it talks about coming after free thinkers, which if you haven't seen the movie 1984, I suggest you go take a look at it or read the book, but when you deal with 1984, George Orwell, 1984, either Orwell or Orwell's, but basically he talks about. It goes into, from the movie at least, it goes into the thought police, the concept of the thought police, all right, which basically the point was to have everybody thinking a certain kind of way and to abolish free thinking, to do away with that completely, where you're not able to, you don't ask questions, you just do as you're told, that sort of thing. And, I've mentioned this or made this reference before, but in the movie there's a scene where they if you are caught breaching some of the rules, or if you are infraction for some of those rules, they take you to this room where they pretty much scare the hell out of you or torture you. And one of the torture methods was they strapped the individual to like this metal table, and they just kept electrocuting him. And after a good while, the guy in charge would stop, tell the guy controlling the electricity to stop, and then he would ask the guy getting electrocuted a question, and he would basically lift up about 4 fingers, and then he would ask him, how many fingers am I holding up? And then every time the guy would answer, he would say 4, because that's what he saw. And then he would get electrocuted for maybe another 30 minutes to another hour, or maybe 2 hours. And then it'll stop and ask him again. And pretty much the point was, he did that and did that and did that until the guy said, I don't know. And then that's when he stopped. And that was the point. The goal was for you not to think. It's not about what you see. If you see 4 fingers up, unless they tell you that that's 4 fingers, it ain't 4 fingers. As crazy as it sounds. Okay, if they tell you that's 2, then it's 2. If they tell you it's 1, then it's 1. If they tell you you're not seeing anything, then you're not seeing anything. That was the whole point of why they were electrocuting him. But they had the thought police. They had eyes everywhere monitoring everything you were doing, and that's where this is going. All right, they're creating a prison planet where that CHIP is going to monitor your every move. Because believe it or not, your life you're living a transaction-based life. Everything you do is recorded through transactions. Every payment you make, when you purchase food, you purchase water, you pay bills, Apple Music, Netflix, all of these things, it is all recorded. It's stored in a database, it's recorded, and they're able to gather metrics and gather information about you. They know what you like. They know how you like it. They know how often you like to have it. All of it. And they will have even more control with the CHIP, which is, and trust and believe, with all these years in planning, they have a way in which they're going to push it. A way where in their minds is gonna get the masses of the people. Really, they want to get everybody. All right, pursuant to Revelation 13. But at the end of the day, we know that they're not gonna get everybody. However, I want to start off with this precept, Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 1. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. So if you come to serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, you have to prepare your soul for temptation. And what does that mean? That means you have to have your mind ready that you are going to be tempted. And temptation comes in many forms. Sometimes you're tempted to do something that may seem pleasurable, but in a sinful way. And sometimes you're tempted to deny the Lord through pain. You know, you may being tortured is a temptation, because often you think of temptation as something like a married woman and she's tempting you to come, basically like she's trying to do some Potiphar's wife type shit on you, or something like that. Oh, I know I really shouldn't take that, but temptation is also in another form of, you may be suffering pain and you're tempted to do something. So when you deal with like the MOTB, or at least the conditions that they're gonna push people into, I was watching this video that was put up by the elder brother Racha Yaquam in London, and it was a clip that he put up, and the individual in the clip was explaining how through the CBDC they're gonna force people, or how they're gonna force people to adopt the CBDC, because if you pretty much any benefit that you have right now, and it goes past benefits as well, but anything that you're filing your taxes to the UBI, Universal Basic Income, stimulus checks, your Social Security, all of these things, the platform is going to shift onto whatever this new digital platform is. So in order for you to deal with them, you need to now deal with them through their avenue, so to speak. Put it like that. You got to deal with them through their avenue. If you go to open up a bank account and they tell you, look, we're only doing it through this new system of, see, hip and go. And if you're not with that, then we can't open up. We can't do this for you. So they're going to migrate all the existing things that people are used to doing, the way you're used to your driver's license, all of these things. They're going to migrate it and tie it in to this thing. And then they're going to tell you, well, we're not pinning you down and forcing this into your hand or in your head. It's up to you. The ball's in your court. So that's like an indirect forcing. Although it's going to get to the point where it gets physical, but they're going to be able to get a lot of people that way. It starts with dangling the carrot in front of the horse or whatever animal it is. And if that doesn't work, then you light a fire and you bring it close to the tail. And that heat will definitely work. So they have many ways, right? By consent or by conquest. And that's why it's going to get tough out here. Because a lot of people, when they see that conquest coming, it's not going to be easy. Resisting the MOTB is not going to be a one-day job. You're going to have to resist it every day, every hour. Keep that in mind. When the Vanessa came out, you had to resist it. It wasn't just a one-day thing. And it's the same thing with the MOTB. Keep that in mind, that it's not going to be, so they bring it out because it's going to be in phases, but they bring it out and then you say, okay, I'm not going to take it today. Today is your job tells you, look, you transition to this or, that's it. Then you say, okay, I'm not going to do it. That's not it doesn't stop there. You're going to be tempted again. You try to board a train or a plane or something like that. Oh, if you don't have this, then we can identify you, so we can't. Boom. You try to go to the hospital. Oh, in order for us to check your records and, process you into the system, you need to have this. Boom. You're going to be constantly tempted on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, because you're going to realize that all the things that you were able to do before, you're not able to do now because you don't have this CHIP. You're not a part of the new system. You can't participate in the Agora, which is where everything pretty much happens. So it says, verse 2, set thy heart, Sirach chapter 2, verse 2, set thy heart aright and constantly endure and make not haste in time of trouble. And that's the thing. You're going to have individuals making haste. Nah, this is too much, man. It's been a week. It's been a month. I'm supposed to live like this for a month, for God knows how long. When is Yahweh Shai coming back? Y'all said things were gonna move quick. I've been resisting this thing for the past 3 weeks. I don't know if I could do it anymore. That's the part that's really gonna get people. That's why Yahweh Shai spoke about he that endures unto the end. Don't get it twisted. A lot of people in the start, a lot of people are gonna say no. But as time goes on, it's gonna be about who can maintain that stance. Who's gonna be able to endure. That's when you're going to have people dropping like flies, some after a few weeks, some after a month or two. Nah, man, I can't keep doing this, man. I'm losing my family, my woman, and don't be surprised. But you make not haste in time of trouble. What? Cleave unto him and Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Because though you may suffer for a moment, the reward is going to be far greater. And it's really only uphill from here. This is that final test. Verse 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So you have to keep that in mind, that we are still being tried. Okay, we're still being tried. And so it's expected that we're going to be put through the fire. And if you're gold, you're going to come back purified. This is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 4. It says, ye have not yet, actually verse 3 says, for consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds. Ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin. See? Striving against sin. And the time is coming where it's going to be harder and harder and harder to continue to strive against sin. That's the temptation, and that's why we pray that the Lord keeps us in that time. That we are successful in striving against sin, and that we stand firm, and that we're part of that number that make it through and get delivered. Because it's one thing to be fighting hard, and it's another thing to be seeing a lot of people around you who started fighting with you giving in. But remember, the scriptures say, continue thou in the things which thou hast learned. So knowing what the truth is, being fully persuaded in your own mind, you gird up your loins and you keep on going. Whether they demonize or criminalize or whatnot, whatever comes your way, remember Sirach, the 2nd chapter, that it is all for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and you will be greatly rewarded for it. So hard times are coming, but difficult doesn't mean impossible. All right, the Lord always provides a way. You just have to have faith. Anyway, Lord willing, this is edifying and exhorting to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Ruach HaKodesh. Until next time, Shalom.